Hello there, I am Jacob Alexander Roper, and I would like to read a poem that I wrote for you. Your eyes are like sapphire, your hair is like cooked spaghetti, and your smile is like teeth hanging out of your mouth. That's called the language of love. In this episode of Dong, we're going to talk all about language, not specifically of love, we just did that, but of linguistic dongs, things that you can do online now, guys. Vulgarlang.com is a site that allows you to construct your own fantasy fictional language. It makes use of the International Phonetic Alphabet, which helps us correctly pronounce words across languages. Now, in this language generator, you can just simply click Generate New Language, and it will output a list of words. And there's a translator, but it can only be used if you type words from the list. If you want to have a little more control, you can decide which phonemes will exist in your language, and you have to make sure you select enough that one can even be generated. Let's try one out. Select some consonants, a couple vowels, and generate it. This site is cool because of how in-depth it goes into phonemes and how sound is created based on things like tongue placement. For example, a bilabial nasal sound is where both lips, bilabial, touch, and nasal means your voice comes out through your nose. So bilabial nasal is All right, let's create a language. This is my made-up language, the language of Kuchewian. If I say you are Chefo-wugu-ogu-zo, it means, well, you can find out for yourself because every language you make comes with a seed that will recreate the language later. The seed for this language is down there in the description, but if you want to try and copy it off the screen, here it is. A lot of numbers. Not all languages are widely used, and it might surprise you to know that there are estimated to be over 7,000 today. And it seems like a lot, but experts actually believe that linguistic diversity peaked around 8,000 BCE when there were close to 20,000 languages. So what happened? Well, How We Got to Next.com features an awesome interactive experience about endangered languages. A language is in danger if it's at risk of no longer being used because either its speakers die or they all shift languages. The prior can occur because of a natural disaster that hits a region of scarcely spoken language. The latter could occur due to something like intermarriage where both parents speak a different language and only one of those languages being adopted by the child. Now let's take a look at the levels of endangerment. Each bubble corresponds with a different one. There are 4 levels and teal represents the lowest. Most children still speak it, but it might only be spoken in certain places. And this dark pink indicates the highest level of danger in which the youngest speakers are grandparents or older. The larger the size of the dot, the more people there are speaking that language. The size of the clumps don't indicate much about the diversity of language, but the color of the dots that comprise it do. So with that, we can see Asia has the most endangered languages spoken. And although Europe's clump is closest in size to Asia's, it actually contains the fewest endangered languages. And here's what's crazy about all this. These dying languages we're talking about in the abstract may be much closer to you than you think. Now, if you allow the site to access your location, you can see the one nearest to you. Kawe-Asu is the nearest one to me, and it says it's only spoken by about 10 people. Kawe-Asu is also the name of the group of Native Americans living in Southern California that speak it. And with such a low number of speakers, and given the old age of the speakers, it's not a huge surprise that that change is drastic in such a short amount of time. Since 2011, the year that this data is from, to 2018, the Kawe-Asu has become increasingly endangered. There are now only 2 fluent speakers. And with different languages come different accents, and what is more charming than an accent? Nothing. And you know what that means? Everything is charming because everyone has an accent. How can that be, Jake? Good question. Well, a group defines a standard pronunciation, and any speaker who deviates from that is said to speak with an accent. So somewhere out there, you will have an accent according to the native people. And Local Lingual is a neat site to show just this. The creator of the site was inspired by his trip to the Ukraine, where he claims to have butchered their simple greeting of good day. He was unable to find Ukrainian vocals online, so he recorded some locals speaking the language, and this set in motion his whole plan for the site.
Доброго дня.
But accents aren't always the product of different languages. These maps show how they can differ among English-speaking regions in the United States. For example, how would you pronounce the word L-A-W-Y-E-R? If you're one of the few who pronounce it lawyer, then there's a high chance you live in this region right here. And now it's interesting to go through the maps and see how other people pronounce everyday words. And the site also includes dialect maps. While accent refers to mainly pronunciation, dialect includes which words and grammar are used. When talking to a group of people, do you say, you guys, you, y'all, or you all? I'm never going to tell you which one I use, so let's move on to the dialect quiz. This quiz is simple to follow. Just answer each question as honestly as you can. For some of them, you may not even have a word, and that's okay, because there's an option for that too. When you finish the quiz, it'll try to guess where you're from, and once you have your answer, you can see which regional dialects are the most similar to yours and which are the least. Now, of course, these words and phrases all had to be made up at some point, but we don't refer to languages like English as fictional. Instead, we associate fictional language with movies or TV shows, and they're created to add a richness to the worlds within them. Probably the most famous of them is Klingon from Star Trek. It was developed into a full-fledged language by linguist Mark Okrand, and you can find full adaptations of masterpieces in Klingon like Hamlet or Greek fables. This website is full of them, so go ahead and have a nice read if you're one of the few who are fully conversational in Klingon. To achieve this alien-sounding language, Okrand chose sound combinations not usually found in human languages. There are also translators, so let's go ahead and see how to say this. I am Jake and I love Michael Stevens. Now watch me butcher Klingon. Am Jake Edge Jean Parmak Michael Stevens. That's really the language of love. So go out there into the big, scary world and make your own language. And then just say it all the time. People might think you're crazy, but you know what? I think you're crazy beautiful. Links to all the dongs are in the description below. If you want a playlist of dongs, they're right here. I'm gonna go cry. And as always, thanks for watching.